Hey, everybody, it's Friday. Friday, end of the week. Thank God it's Friday. How you doing, Denise?
I'm doing awesome today. Aren't y'all proud of my awesome being back? Yes, it is Friday. And one thing that we ask every single day, is this thing working?
I hear you. According to the jobs report, no. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yes, we will.
According to the Russian disinformation, it ain't working either. It's a hoax too. We might get into that a little bit today, but
yeah, and the CCP really
there you go
behind everything.
There you go. Yeah,
could it be just all propaganda? We'll get into that too.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a good time because it's Friday. It's the end of the week. We're gonna have a great weekend. Here in East Texas is kind of cloudy. We're looking forward to a little fall coming in. It is
fall weather. Yep.
It's been raining off and on.
It's the warm fall. It ain't the cold fall yet.
No, but we're starting to feel a little difference. Even my chickens are acting a little different. So
right. And we had an interesting morning. We got to go do Grandparents' Day at the elementary school. We got to see our grandbabies over there and eat breakfast with them this morning. They were happy to see us. That was really cool.
We actually had to get up before the crack of dawn this morning. It's been a minute before we've had to do that. We get up early every morning, but we kind of just hang for a minute and drink our coffee and think about the show and then come on the show and then, kind of pull together some stuff. Things that we want you to be informed about and become engaged every single day.
Yeah.
And we want to state that these are our opinions and our assertions. We do this every single day, and they're our opinions.
Exactly. They're completely our opinions. Nobody controls our editorial content. And so there you go.
We take no money from nobody. We do this absolutely without any income. So if you want to send us some love, please donate on our website at www.is-this-thing-working.com. Hey, we take anything. We even take some tips.
Look at you.
Also, we do this for free. We do this because we are here to save America.
Because we love America. And we love what the America that we grew up in. That's what we love, and that's what we want to get back, man. That's what President Trump is up there doing, man. He takes no money, too. You know what I mean?
He doesn't. And, remember when during his whole time at being a president, he did not take a paycheck.
Nope.
And, I've seen where people have come out with the amount of money that past presidents have come out with, who took all the money, that the American people pay you to be president. I get that.
Yeah, whatever the salary is. Yeah,
but how much money they actually left office with when they got there? They had this much money and they left office with millions of dollars.
Because they're criminals.
And President Trump lost $1 billion.
Because the last 4 out of 5 presidents that we've had, let's go GW, Obama, Clinton, Biden, Trump. So, 4 out of the last 5 that we have been criminals, man. So, for them to go in there, take my taxpayer money to pay their salary and come out being a multi-billionaire, kiss my ass.
That's what I think, too. That's why we hate our government, because they take our money from us and don't give us anything in return. What is that? Taxation without representation?
Yeah.
So that's what we have now in America. And but we want to know, if you agree with us, you tell your friends and you share this show.
Yep. And also, you stomp that like button. Please follow and subscribe wherever you see the name Is This Thing Working? And hey, our podcast is available for download on all platforms like Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to our podcast. And like Denise said, hey, if you like our opinions and you agree with us, tell your friends and share the show. And I'll tell you right now, if you don't like my opinion and you don't agree with me, I don't care. Tell your friends and share the show anyway.
That's right.
Give y'all something to talk about, you know?
Cuss us upside down one way or another, but just share this show.
That's it.
That's it. But we want to stress today that Bannon is still a political prisoner of the Harris fake administration.
Yep.
For 66 days now.
Yeah, exactly.
And we really need him to be free.
And I'm really mad at our Congress because, and I'm really upset at the fact that we always come with a call to action to call your congressmen and call your representatives and call your senators and tell them we need the SAVE Act passed. And, y'all see how that's going at this point in time. But we tell you all these things, man. But they promised that they were going to do something to get Steve Bannon released, and we ain't heard jack shit out of them since then.
No,
and they're not even going to come back until the 9th. You know,
not till next week.
And
so
it's just
it's just another thing we're going to hear for the next 2 months until President Trump is elected on November 5th. Don't forget, November 5th, vote.
Yep.
And vote early. Get that vote banked.
Yep.
I know we don't like it, but do it. And, I mean, we have to do it. We have to. It has to be too big to rig.
This is the only way we can stop what's coming.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, this is the peaceful way to do it. And that's what we need to do. And we need everyone on board. We need your eyes open, you know, and they're trying so hard to divide us. Even the conservative movement right now, they're coming out with this Russia hoax. We talked about this yesterday. Well, you know, we come up with our opinions, but we listen to War Room. And I want to tell you, this young lady here that we're going to play a clip of is a smart little girl, young lady. I'm going to call her a young lady because she is that. And she learned from Steve Bannon the signal. And I want you to listen to what she has to say.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she is part of this live experience, like she says.
Yeah.
It's her generation that this is hurting the most.
Yep. And when we do talk about signal and noise, man, that's what we mean is the lived experience that we're all going through. What is the signal? The things that resonate with us, the cost of our gas, the cost of our groceries, you know, the cost of
rent for them, you
the
know,
high interest
they can't
rates
even
that
buy
people,
houses right now. It's just out of their reach.
the outrageous interest rates that people are paying on credit cards, and the feds have no inclination to drop it right now. You know, it's just
they're going to try though before the election.
Sure, they're going to try.
Their numbers are never going to be what they need for that to happen.
Nope. And so that's why we just want to come in and bring the things that resonate today, the lived experience. Like Denise said, check out Natalie.
I think the most interesting part to me of the whole Russia indictment is that they allege that the narrative that the United States is in decline, that, you know, crime is decimating our cities, that apparently white Americans are under attack by diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, that affirmative action is really shaking this country to the core in terms of a competency crisis, that all of that is somehow an astroturfed Russian disinformation campaign. No, that's called the lived experience of American voters, the lived experience of Americans here in this country, the lived experience of living in a country with a wide open, porous southern border and a regime that doesn't just aid and abet, but actively welcomes an invasion into this country of people who do not have our interests, not even in their hearts. Frankly, they're national security threats, and they're probably sleeper cells in waiting. I don't know about you guys. I don't really ever want to hear the word Russia when it comes to political discourse, like, frankly, ever again. The only time I want to hear it is if we're ever talking about how the policies of the Biden regime have turned this country, have turned my economic reality, especially my generation, into nothing more, like Stephen K. Bannon always says, than the lived experience of Russian serfs. We might be better fed, better clothed, better housed, maybe. But when it comes to the real numbers, to the actual reality, to the lived experience, especially when you add the political persecutions in there, it's not that much better. I don't think we should be casting stones at Russia when we're busy locking up political enemies and political opposition because they're apparently anti-democratic. Yeah, Stephen K. Bannon's pretty anti-democratic according to the Biden regime.
Yep, exactly.
Couldn't have said it any better.
Exactly. And as far as, is this thing working? Podcast and live stream goes, I think this will probably be the last time we talk about the Russian disinformation hoax, because to me it's noise, man.
It is noise. I mean, especially when the jobs report came out this morning and how really bad it was.
Yep.
It was bad for you who are living this experience right now.
The great replacement theory.
Yes. You still don't think you're being replaced?
You still don't think it's a theory?
Mm-hmm. Foreign-born workers gained 635,000 jobs in August. And guess what, folks? American workers lost 1.3 million jobs in August. Don't you think it's time to wake up?
Yeah.
We have a video. We have a little clip here of breaking news on the job report this morning.
Should be coming across any second now. Let me check the BL. There it is. 142,000 versus July, which revised down to from 289,000 from 114,000. June, big revision to 118 from 179. I cannot do the math. Somebody do 11 and 14 for me. That's 25,000 for the July revision, and it looks like 61,000. So what's 25 and 61 is 87 or 86, is that right? So big revision down for the prior 2 months. I'm looking at the unemployment rate. It did tick down to 4.2% from 4.3. Should be
absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was so stunned. He couldn't even think of I mean, he's a number man. He's there trying to give you the numbers, and he was so stunned by it all, he couldn't come up with the numbers.
Yep.
I mean, absolutely bad for the Biden. No, I'm going to say for the Harris administration. Biden isn't there no more. Let me tell you what this means. This absolutely means that they are going. Okay, first of all, they come out with 142,000, and then they tell you the revisions from July and June. So do you believe that there were 142,000 jobs gained at all?
No. Not in the least.
Because every month this whole year they have walked back numbers.
Yep. Every month.
Every single month.
Every
and they're
month.
going to try to come out and force a rate cut before election time to say, well, Kamala did something great.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even if she come out and dropped interest rates to 0, is that enough to go vote for that woman?
No.
No, because like you said, under the Harris administration, 1.3 million native-born Americans lost their jobs under this administration in August. An estimated $1.3 million or 1.3 million native-born workers, according to the latest jobs report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Meanwhile, like you said earlier, the number of foreign-born workers has increased by 635,000.
Yeah.
This is the effects of an open border.
Yes. And this only leads to one thing. And I think we've already been here. But this article that we're looking at, National Pulse, goes on to say, while the August jobs report shows unemployment falling to 4.2% last month, this drop is primarily due to a spike in part-time employment. According to the BLS data, the number of full-time workers decreased slightly.
Yep. Since June of last year, full-time employment in the U.S. has fallen by 1.5 million, while part-time has increased by 2 million. So the data suggests the labor market is far weaker than the Harris government portrays.
The jobs data has cooled expectations of a Federal Reserve interest rate cut later this month. Expectations that the central bank would cut rates by 50 basis points rose following the release of the BLS's benchmark employment revisions last month, as the total number of jobs added to the economy over the past year were revised downward by a shocking 818,000.
Yeah, do you remember that number come out just about 2 weeks ago?
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yep. Exactly.
It keeps going down and down, so there is no way whatsoever that I believe there are 142,000 jobs. I believe that as of now that it's the negative. I do not believe that they're creating jobs.
Nope.
And if there is any creation going on, it's in the government. They have created this massive
they continue to do it.
Amount of jobs for illegals, actually.
Yep.
For foreign-born workers is what they're calling them.
Yep. In the middle of a recession. And I want to tell you, the truth about us being in a recession is the truth. Even the left-wing mainstream media will sit there and tell you that today. They can't deny this any longer. Man, here's a report from CNBC this morning where basically they tell us, hey, we're in a recession.
That's it. Finally.
I think we're in the type of recession eventually that comes due to this cycle of higher interest rates, higher inflation, the stress that puts on the consumer eventually hits their savings rates, increases their delinquency rates. that hits the employment markets where we're already starting to see some signs of companies slowing down in terms of hiring. They've paused hiring already. I think the next step will be when we start to see more layoffs. And that then will bring you your run-of-the-mill, more of a normal type of.
Yeah, I don't know what a run-of-the-mill normal type of recession is. Recessions are bad.
Yeah, they're not good.
It doesn't matter if it's a big one or a little one. The thing is being able to crawl back out of them.
Just now admitting that we've been in a recession for a minute. You know,
exactly.
This ridiculous because they could do something about it, but they refuse. All they're going to do in Congress next week is come in and spend more of your money. They're not going to, do appropriation bills like we've asked them to do. They're not going to at least take something off the top. They're not going to do anything. They're still going to pass a CR at Nancy Pelosi's COVID, like you're going to get some money like you did during COVID. Remember, you were doled out money during COVID, but now you're
paying for
you're
it
paying
now.
for it now.
Yeah.
So and the only thing we can do is ask you to call and contact your congressman, but they're going to do what they're going to do. They're already saying they're going to pass the CR, call for the SAVE Act. They're going to try to shove that in there so they can continue to spend your money
and kick the can down the road.
And why haven't our congressman stopped the DOJ from spending $35 million on prosecuting Trump? Why haven't our Congress done anything about this?
Think about that. You just answered your own question, because just like you talked about earlier today, hell, the RNC didn't even want to nominate Trump, but they couldn't deny him.
No, because the people voted for him.
Because the people voted for him. That's exactly right.
I mean, every one of them despise him except a certain group, a certain little handful of people.
Which is exactly why they're so quiet on why they're spending the $35 million.
Yeah. Well, I had this article from Forbes. Special Counsel Jack Smith in the Justice Department has spent more than $35 million of your money, folks, to prosecute Trump, according to new disclosure reports through March. An amount that outshines his fellow special counsels and will only rise as Smith took new actions in court this week to revive his 2 criminal cases against the ex-president. Why? See what's happening? And we're over here. I get that we need to pass the SAVE Act, but who is talking about this? Who is talking about, Julie Kelly? Julie Kelly on X has followed Jack Smith in all of his criminal behavior for 4 years. And no one else, who else is speaking about this? Why can't our Congress at least take this out of there? I mean, what the heck?
I get it. Well, and not only that, why is he even being allowed to do this now? Because back when they had the hearings, Merrick Garland had to sit there and admit that he was illegally, what do you call it? Appointed,
yeah. He wasn't confirmed at all.
He was not confirmed at all.
He is a citizen.
Yes.
He has not been confirmed by the Senate.
Yep.
Key facts, Smith and his office lead the federal government's 2 criminal cases against Trump for the ex-president's efforts to overturn the 2020 election and for allegedly withholding White House documents, which, that's never been proven. It's just one more talking point.
Right. Just like what we talked about too, they spent the $35 million on Jack Smith and his staff's work between November 22 and March 31st. That's the most recent date for which this data is available. But this also includes, now another key fact, this includes the $19.4 million spent by Smith's office directly, plus $16.3 million in other DOJ resources to support his investigation, including hours worked by DOJ employees and a protective detail for who? Smith.
As Trump has repeatedly attacked the special counsel. And by the way, he's not a special counsel.
No.
He's a citizen. He has not been confirmed. They chose him to go after President Trump.
That's exactly right. And financed him.
Yes, they did. And our congressman has been what? Crickets.
Yep.
That's all you hear is nothing.
Yep.
And they continue to fund this, and that's what they're fixing to do. So, yeah, I agree 100%. There are several people that have already come out and said it, but, you know, I'm going to say it today. Congress is a scam.
Yeah.
It's all a scam. I don't know what else to say. You people suck.
Yep. You got an R, you got a D, I don't care.
Yeah, all of you suck.
You suck.
You are not for the people. But we have to go out there and what? Vote for you.
While our credit card interest rates triple, you know.
Yeah, at the same
while
time,
our groceries triple, while our gas is way
inflation's
up.
out of control. We have a $2 trillion deficit every year.
And we've got an
And it's
open
amazing.
border that you're just allowing people to come in here. And we've talked about this too, man, is, you know, hey, they're going to come in. They're going to stagnate the job market, which they have done. What's the next thing they're going to do? They're going to suck up all of our natural resources and use those up. Then what are we going to be? Man, like we heard Natalie talk about from the start, Russia disinformation, Russia collusion, whatever bullshit. That's not Signal. Signal is the money that they're laundering and they're sticking in their own damn pockets, which is your money, my money. That, and they're doing whatever they want to. They will not respect the wishes of the people. Not only that, they're criminal as hell because, like I've said before, the biggest human trafficking organization on the planet, I believe, is our federal government.
Yes, and the amount, and we've talked about this, about how many children have been lost.
Yeah,
and
people.
no one has found them. I mean, it's
350,000 something, maybe.
And no one says anything about it.
Yep.
I mean, it's discovered, and people are continuously talking about it. Finally, you know, we're talking about our house, of course, and all that. But this is because of the pressure that we have to put on them constantly. House panel subpoenas, Harris, HHS over lost migrant children.
The border czar and Mr. Mayorkas.
Yes, over the lost children.
Yeah.
I mean, where are they?
Yeah, it says according the House Judiciary Committee is going to subpoena her and Mayorkas for more information related to the lost contact with over 145,000 unaccompanied alien children after placing them with sponsors, including illegal aliens. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Anyway, it was issued by Chairman Jim Jordan, and it was posted on X. You can go and you can find it and read it. It's a nothing burger. What all they do is do letters like, "Hey, we subpoenaed you. You think she's going to show up?"
No.
You know, Mayorkas, I have to give him like kudos for at least showing up, even though he lies.
Even though he lied.
But do you think Harris will actually show up? You know, she thinks she's above everybody else.
I was fixing to ask you that. If she doesn't show up, if she refuses to appear with a subpoena, does she get 4 months in federal prison like Navarro and Bannon?
No, because you see what's happening with Garland.
That's exactly
with his
correct.
Russia hoax.
That's it.
Coming after MAGA people he don't like, just
Well,
because he don't like their politics and because they're telling the truth.
Well, and the thing is, like I've said over and over too, the thing is with him is the same charges that Navarro and Mr. Steve Bannon had. Merrick Garland done the same thing, and he walks free, man.
He walks
so
free.
do you think they'll do anything with Kamala Harris? Hell no.
No.
You'll be lucky. It's going to be a clown show. We know that. It's just...
Yeah, and what's also weird is we talk about the Russia hoax and what's going on with Russia, and it's always about Russia. That's what they use. They used it in 2016. They used it in 2020. We all know it's a Russia hoax. It's one thing after another, and then after the election, you find out that they lied. That's all. If anything was really happening anywhere and they talked about it and blamed people on it, we wouldn't believe them because they've lied to us so much. But what about China? Do y'all never hear about China? What's going on with China?
I think we need to put our eyes on China.
I think
a lot
we
of
need to
people
be
do.
looking at China.
China is Signal.
China is Signal.
And has been for a long time.
Now, as much of a non-fan as I am of Mike Pompeo, one thing he knows about is China. And he wrote an opinion article here for the New York Post, and he says the White House has put blinders on as China infiltrated our government. And this is the truth. This is what is going on, and this is a signal, folks. One thing I will tell you, that Steve Bannon always says, watch the CCP, and we are going to get rid of the CCP, and we're going to be part of that. And they might come after us, and we might be, thrown off the internet as well as everybody else that's being, cheated on right now, called fake news, and they're not, But for years, he has warned that the CCP has been working to infiltrate America's society and government at every level. The safety and sovereignty of our nation depends on our ability to counter this threat. Now, this week, Linda Sun, an aide who had served in the offices of both governors, was charged with acting as an agent of the CCP. In the unsealed indictment, it was revealed that Sun and her husband had received millions in laundered cash from the Chinese Communist Party and in return worked to further the interests of the Chinese government and the CCP.
Yep. What were some of her activities that she done, the treasonous activities, he said? He said that she worked to block Taiwanese officials from being able to contact the governor's office since 2016. They ensured content and speeches and press releases according with CCP-approved language, granted CCP officials access to high-level state government discussions such as COVID response efforts, and even personally participated in the capacity of a senior New York state official in the CCP organized protest against democratically elected president of Taiwan, who was visiting New York City at the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
he said he saw this during firsthand during his time as Secretary of State in the Trump administration. We stopped nearly all of it by designating the Confucius Institute program a foreign mission. Although we only scratched the surface in combating Beijing's influence operation within our universities. But they have been asleep on the job, he says.
Yeah, think about this. And this is good points here. He says, the commitment to keeping America safe from the CCP infiltration has been neglected by the Harris administration. Early last year, you remember the spy balloon? It was allowed to do what? Travel all the way across our country. It was allowed to travel near our military bases. It went all the way across the country, and nobody was ever held accountable by this administration.
Yeah.
Nobody.
They also withheld and shut down the China Initiative, an anti-espionage program started in the Trump administration, which was focused solely on the CCP's malign activities. I remember when they shut that down, everyone was like, oh my gosh.
Yep. And the open southern border has allowed tens of thousands of Venezuelans and prisoners from Nicaragua. The open border has allowed tens of thousands of Chinese nationals, many of them military-age males, to cross in here illegally with no real safeguards.
None.
Do you think that they kind of made it a little tough on the Venezuelans and the Cubans and the Haitians and the Nicaraguans? Maybe so. But these guys right here, they just let go, man.
And the one thing that he does point out, that Kamala Harris, you can count on one hand the number of times she has mentioned the CCP on the campaign trail. She does not talk about them. No one in the Harris administration talks about it. But the CCP, they are
signal. And the American people need to ask why.
Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. We couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
And we'll see you next time.
We're out.